Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of extracting honey the easy way. Now in part 1 we saw how to get the honey actually out of the frame, and now we're going to look at actually what we call settle the honey. In other words, put it into a tank and let any of the impurities come to the top. I've been warming my honey now for about 48 hours and I've got the bucket here full of the honey, nice and warm, and I'm going to put it into one of these settling tanks. Now if you don't want to spend all the money on a stainless steel one like this, you can actually use a plastic one here. The disadvantage is you get a plastic valve and they're nowhere near as good, but they don't cost very much money, and so if you just want to extract and settle a few pounds of honey, then this is ideal. Anyway, back over to our stainless steel one, and what we're going to do now is simply pour the honey in through the top, and you'll need a sieve, and the sieve fits rather well, as you can see. These things never work properly, and what you'll need is a sieve. And if you come over here, Carol, and have a look inside, here you can see it's a really coarse sieve. Now please, I ask you, don't put your honey through muslin or anything like that to really take everything out. Yes, I know it stops it crystallizing, and yes, I know it looks a lot clearer, but actually pollen and propolis that's in the honey is good for you. So just putting it through a coarse sieve like this to take out any of the really big bits is what you want. Don't filter your honey too finely unless you're going to go in for a honey competition. What we're going to do now is pour the honey into the sieve and just let it seep through. So I've got my warmed honey here and I can pour it in. There it goes, wax and all, into there. And I'm going to leave the bucket turned upside down. I'm going to let it run through, and I'll leave it like that for quite some time. I can probably leave it like that overnight. It's going to run through the sieve, take out any big bits into the tank. I'm going to let it settle for 24 hours. Any impurities are going to come to the top, and then I can bottle from this valve at the bottom. Just a good piece of advice, actually, before you pour the honey in, make sure the valve's closed, otherwise you will end up with honey all over your feet and all over the floor. And I have been on occasions banned from the kitchen for doing silly things like that. In fact, you'll notice we're back in the honey room today, and the reason for that is that there are important work going on in the kitchen. I've seen chocolate brownies being made and various other goodies, and there's no way I wanted to interrupt that. So I'll come back into the honey room to actually do this bit. But in a good clean kitchen, you're absolutely fine doing it there. So what we're going to do now is leave this to settle for 24 hours, and then we'll come back and actually take some honey off and see what we've got. So see you back here in about 24 hours. Here we are back in the honey room 24 hours later, and hopefully this has all had a chance to settle. So all we need to do now is take a new clean jar and simply pour some honey out of the tank. So here we go. Keep your fingers crossed, this could be good. And there comes the honey out of the tank. And there's my nice jar of honey. So we're going to do one more. So we've got honey for the kitchen. I'm always getting into trouble because we haven't got enough honey in the house. And I just take that. If I hold that up to the light, you'll see it's not completely clear. It's got the odd bit in it along the way, and that's fine. That's a sign of quality. That's pollen in there, a little bit of propolis. That does you good. If you're going to go in for a honey show, you won't get anywhere at all with that. But if you're going to eat it and you're going to actually enjoy it, that's absolutely fantastic honey. Remember, the more you do to honey, the more you take away. So there we are, a simple way to extract your honey and get it into jars without a lot of equipment. Yes, it won't be the best looking honey in the world, but it will be the tastiest honey in the world because it's yours, it's been produced locally, it's been produced by your bees, and you haven't done anything to it to take all the goodness out. So I hope that's been of help to those of you who actually want to extract your honey, but don't want to spend a fortune on kit or hire it. And if you've only got a relatively small amount to do, it's a really brilliant way of doing it. So thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and hopefully also press the bell so you'll get notified of our future videos, and look forward to seeing you at the next video. Enjoy your honey, enjoy your beekeeping.